Hey guys, how's it going? What's up? Welcome to another one of my videos. What I've been eating lately and such. I got a freezer stocked to the brim with random stuff. And then also in this cupboard, which I don't know what to call it, like the cooking cupboard is what I'm kind of calling it. It used to be seasonings and spices in here, but now I moved most of my seasonings down to here. And you know, we're working on the organization of this. But anyway, I had them in what I thought was a good place, making use of some awkward space in the pantry. Turns out I just kept forgetting that I had all those items. So we have some stuff to look at in here. We have some business to attend to. Before we get into the video, I want to take a quick minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Billy. Billy is a razor and body care company that wants to do away with the pink tax, which is basically an upcharge on women's razors and other, body care products just because they're made pink or to look feminine, and approach body hair and the removal of it in a way that celebrates individual preference and whatever works for you and makes you comfortable. They're completely moving from the marketing that implies that you need to remove all your body hair in order to be feminine or attractive or hygienic. But just like, if you want to remove it in whatever area you want, then they have the products for you. For example, for me, I don't really shave my legs, maybe like a few times a year, but I do shave like my armpits or like my toe hairs just for preference reasons,
I love the razor. It feels super comfortable to shave with and it feels so soft on the skin, but it still gets a smooth, clean shave.
I was sent their starter kit, which comes in this very cute box. Only $10, and it comes with the razor, a magnetic holder for the shower so that the blade isn't like sitting in a puddle of water. It also comes with a extra replacement blade, which is really cool. I've seen some starter kits that don't come with extra blades, so you have to order them yourself. But I was also sent their whipped shave cream. For sure going to keep and repurpose this cap. And I was really excited to find out that all their products are also vegan and cruelty free. So if you want to get your own Billy starter kit for only $10, you can click the link down in the description below.
Or go to mybilly.com/EmilyE and use code EmilyE10 to get 10% off Billy's starter kit and shave cream when purchased together.
And with that, thank you to Billy for sponsoring this video, and we can get into it. The freezer is the main problem right now. Stocked for sure, but like in a bad way. So we got some gluten-free waffles. I bought these at Trader Joe's for my Trader Joe's video, but I never used them in the video. They were the only frozen waffles that were vegan. Packaging is weirdly retro. I originally bought these with making like breakfast sandwiches in mind. So maybe I will want to do something with that because I also have these meatless breakfast patties. I should make like a breakfast sandwich with waffle and these breakfast patties.
So we're making that breakfast sandwich I mentioned a second ago, and I wanted to put mayonnaise in my breakfast sandwich because I think that's normal, right? But squirting the mayonnaise onto the waffle felt very illegal. I also put some tomato slices and some seasonings.
Hash browns from Trader Joe's.
But I don't know. It wasn't really giving breakfast sandwich like I envisioned it to. I'm not known for breakfast sandwiches, no, not at all. I'm not big on breakfast sandwiches, but I don't know. It needed more condiments and seasonings, maybe some hot sauce. Vegan cheese obviously would have made it better. And I just feel like the breakfast patties weren't super breakfasty, maybe? But I'm not really the person to ask. It was not what I was expecting.
They were on super sale, so I don't know if that means they're discontinuing these, making a new recipe or packaging or whatever, but they better be making new packaging because this is a full bag. This is how you buy it. And it's empty. This is how much is in it. Just this little bit, and it's this big old bag. So I would never have bought this out of spite, but I bought it because it was only like $2.50 or something. But that is so stupid. This one's the same, and I don't know if it is, I don't know if it is the packaging, but it's ripped right here and also in another spot. Oh yeah, right here. And I think it's because it's a stupid bag. So I'm gonna put it in something new right now. It's probably already like freezer burnt.
All right, so here's where I'm trying the chicken nuggets, but they won't come around for a minute, so just, you know, bear with me. But anyways, I saw a TikTok recently, I will put it on the screen, where the guy was making noodles out of lasagna, long pasta from lasagna. You'll just see. He broke up his lasagna, although his lasagna was way different than mine. You know, I don't know if this is like American versus British lasagna. So I started breaking it up and I wasn't doing a very good job. And then Casey stepped in and she had her own method, so she did that. And we were trying to get like longer pieces, but it's really weird. Like I doubted this. I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But anyways, here we're boiling our pasta, and this is definitely a unique experience, you know? I don't know. The lasagna noodles are like thicker than other pasta, I guess. So this is for people who love chow fun, basically, which is, if you don't know, it's like a Chinese noodle dish where the noodles are like wide and thicker. If you really like noodly noodles, that's for you. So like this is the Italian chow fun. And I don't know, and that might not be a good thing to say publicly, but it makes sense in my brain. But yeah, anyways, if you're into noodly noodles in abstract shapes, you should try this. It's very fun. If you ended up with a bunch of lasagna noodles left over for some reason, but you don't feel like making lasagna, you want a different kind of pasta, this is for you. Here, finally, the chicken nuggets are back. I put them in the air fryer and then I'm just cutting them up. And I put some of this Trader Joe's Parmesan cheese on them, or I thought that'd be a good topping for the pasta, and put them back in the air fryer for a couple minutes. And then I'm using my Trader Joe's cashew kale pesto. As you can see, I've reignited my love for Trader Joe's recently because of that video. These noodles were not super easy to mix around, for sure. Also because I was using too small of a pan, so they're kind of just like flopping everywhere. I started mixing the pesto with some water so that it would like spread around the pasta easier. And yeah, it looks a bit ugly, but yes, very yummy. I really like the noodles like this. Like, I would definitely do this again. It's fun, and they're very just noodly. I don't know. They're thick and like chewy. So if that's something that you're into, I would suggest it. But they're harder to break up than you think. And also, I feel like little tiny pieces of the noodles like flew all over the kitchen. Maybe, possibly. Just a few, but like, who knows where they ended up.
Lots of fruit. Basically, all this and all this, my parents' refrigerator gave out and they had to go get a new refrigerator recently, and they had a bunch of frozen fruit that wasn't getting eaten, and it was super freezer burnt, of course, so it went to the vegan, and I wanted to do something about it right away because it was super freezer burnt, and I knew if I didn't do something right away, it would just probably not get used for a long time and then have to end up being thrown out. So I just tried to get off a lot of the like ice off of it. I just blended it and then made ice cubes out of it so I can use those ice cubes to make more smoothies. And I don't really know if that makes it easier, but I feel like it does. The freezer burnt fruit, it all just freezes into like one block, and when you actually want to go and make a smoothie out of it, it's really annoying, you know? So it would discourage me from making the smoothies. But if they're in these nice little ice cubes, you know, I feel like it's easier. Plus, I could do something with the ice cubes. I haven't yet, but I could like have a fun little drink and use those ice cubes, I guess. Or even just like, what could I do with them? I don't know. And then this is just frozen pineapple that I did the same thing with, but they're bigger ice cubes. This is super freezer burnt. Oh wow, this must also be from my mom and I forgot it was in here. Very freezer burnt strawberries. I should probably do something with them right now. Is there anything wrong with eating freezer burnt fruit? Like, is it dangerous or is it just unappetizing? Hey, Google, is it okay to eat freezer burnt fruit?
On the website thekitchen.com, they say, freezer burn is just dehydration that happens when your frozen foods are exposed to air, and any eccentricities that you might notice in color or texture aren't actually dangerous to your health. Do you want a little more context?
No. Awesome. Because I don't think those are that old. And then I have some frozen sweetened condensed coconut milk, which I should really do something with, because I know there's like so many things you can do with sweetened condensed coconut milk, so many little desserts from all over the world, so many great things, you know, but that's the problem. There's too many things, too many possibilities, and then I just don't want to make a decision, so it just stays there. some of my freezer staples. Oh, cherry berry blend. Love cherry berry blend. And wild blueberries. Love wild blueberries. So great. I'll talk about it more, I guess, later.
Okay, so later is now. I know I've talked about my love for wild blueberries before on this channel, but here we go again. This is one of my favorite ways to use them, is just putting some in the microwave for as long as they're not like frozen anymore, but they're not getting hot yet, you know? And then I mix it into some granola. You can do it with cereal too, but it works better with granola because granola won't get like soggy, you know? The granola also absorbs some of the blueberry juices, which is kind of fun. And then I mix in my milk, and yeah, cheaper and better than buying fresh blueberries.
What is all this? I don't know. Let's see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. We got... This is actually... Oh my god, I should make that this week. This is literally tres leches. Just the leches part. Because... I don't know. I made a messed up recipe and I had way too much liquid for the cake that I had. So I was like, I'll just freeze this and then I'll make another cake for it later. But then when you Google if it's okay, or when you ask if it's okay to freeze sweetened condensed milk, she's like, oh yeah, it's great. You can do that. Like, everybody does it. And then when you ask if you can freeze evaporated milk, she's like, no, it changes the consistency or whatever. But I'm not gonna do anything else with it. Like, what else am I gonna do with it? So I'm gonna have to make a tres leches with it, but it just might be a subpar one, I guess.
So, I'm sure I've said this before, but baking is not my thing. Everything always goes wrong when I try to bake something, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the end product doesn't turn out well, because I'm very good at fixing things or rebranding them. Sometimes you can just say that what you made is not what you originally intended, but it's actually something else, and then it makes it sound a lot better. So anyways, this originally was inspired by a tres leches tiramisu collaboration, type of dessert, but it ends up that I'm just gonna call it a mocha coconut cake because that describes it better, and it still sounds good, and so we can just separate it from the original inspiration. So anyways, most of the problem came from the whipped part. You know, like a tres leches, you got the like whipped cream topping, and I didn't feel like going to the store. I had some canned coconut cream, so I was like, why can't I do it myself? It's cheaper, and everyone makes it seem so easy, but again, so many things just go wrong for me. One thing, I think I need to get a hand mixer because I always tell myself I can just use this adapter on the hand blender that I have, because otherwise, what is it for? What is the whisk attachment even for if not to like whip things, right? But it just doesn't work well at all. It's way too aggressive, and it just splashes the stuff everywhere all over the kitchen. Like, I don't know how to use it. Anyways, so we just ended up with a little sweet coconut cream sauce to go on top, because I'm not wasting this stuff, okay? So I put that on top, and then I still put the cocoa on top like a tiramisu, and since I had some coconut whipped cream, I thought I would just add that on top to have some whipped element. And why? This is how stupid I am. Why did I put it on like that? Why did I start from one end and then start from the other end? You're just bound to fail. Why would I do that? And then I ran out before I was finished. So I tried the cake right away, but it was a lot better after letting it sit overnight in the fridge. The consistency of the liquid part definitely changed texture from being frozen, so it didn't absorb into the cake very well after the few hours, but after overnight it was a lot better. It's honestly really good if you just separate it from the other two desserts that were inspiration for it. It was just a moist cake with a coconut topping and some chocolate coffee flavor infused in there. Delicious.
One frozen cupcake. I bought some vegan cupcakes on super sale at Grocery Outlet. I ended up freezing them, and we've kind of been eating them like slowly. Lately, these days, if I open a can of coconut cream, I'm just gonna freeze the rest of it. Like, if I don't use it all immediately, I'm just immediately freezing the rest of it instead of even trying to keep it in the fridge for a week or whatever, because there's just been too many times when it's gone wasted, and this is just so much better. So I have, some little ice cubes of coconut cream, and I love to freeze things in ice cube trays because then they freeze separately like this, and it's just, you know, they're not stuck together or anything. These are great for throwing into smoothies, cooking if you're making like a coconut curry, you know, or soup if you want to add something like a cream to make it creamier. You can also put it in ramen if you want like a creamy broth, you know. I mean, you could put one in oatmeal. There's endless possibilities, you know. And then this is a creamer that I froze in the same way. It was an unsweetened oat hemp creamer. I froze it because I didn't like the creamer for coffee. Like I didn't like how it tasted in coffee, but I didn't want to waste it, so I was like, I'll just freeze it and then I could do the same thing with it. It got brown though. I don't know why. Like, it just tasted healthy and it was like no oils added or whatever. So that's probably why it wasn't very good. I'm sure it will be good in smoothies or in like cooking or whatever. And I froze some spinach recently. It's all just like in this block, but you can easily break it apart because it's like thin, you know? I got a large spinach. Okay. Then I also have this bread I just got from Trader Joe's. I just always like to have seedy bread. For me, it's like breakfast bread basically that I keep in the freezer because I don't eat it quick enough. This is ground flaxseed that I use for egg for certain things, and I just keep it in the freezer because it doesn't freeze and it won't go bad in there. Literally 2 meatballs in here. We can do something with that.
Okay, so one night I decided to do a little clean the fridge out meal with one of these pho packets that I got from Costco. I threw in those 2 meatballs and some leftover tofu and veggies that I had, frozen peas, some sriracha, and I didn't have hoisin, so I threw in some fish sauce because I was like, that's kind of sweet, right? And honestly, you know, not the cutest meal for sure, not the meal that makes the most sense for sure, but those pho packs are quite delicious, and I was surprised to see that they were vegan.
And now let's look at this shelf. What's even in here, you ask? Well, let's see.
So I've been wanting to make my own little seasoning mixes for a while now. I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same. You have several meals that you make all the time, and for a lot of them you have like a set list of seasonings that you use every time. And I'm like, instead of having to get out several different jars every time I make this, why don't I just make myself little seasoning mixes, you know? But I didn't really know what I was doing, and I wasn't using a recipe or anything. I was just going off of my own like preferences. So I was like, I'll just make a smaller batch of a few things and then see if I like using the seasoning mix, or if it's like, if the ratio is off or whatever, I can like tweak it later. But anyways, this first one is just like an everyday seasoning mix that I would use on like sandwiches, or just like if I'm cooking some veggies in the air fryer or the oven, or popcorn, I'm sure it'd be good on. Here's me using it on a sandwich. I'm still using this mayonnaise that I don't love very much. It's good in something as long as the something is well seasoned and flavored otherwise, you know what I mean? This is how I've been making my sandwiches lately. I'll do a layer of mayonnaise, or some, you know, maybe hummus if I have it, then some cucumber, then some tofurkey deli slices, and then a layer of tomato and onion, and I got a layer of the peppered tofurkey slices, and then some spinach and mustard, and yeah, sourdough. Okay, so here I'm making a like taco seasoning mix that I asked Google for inspiration for.
This top-rated recipe is made with chili powder, ground cumin, dried oregano, sea salt, black pepper, ground paprika.
But I didn't use like a specific recipe with measurements. I just, again, like went off of my preferences, what I like and what I'd be using it for. This one I'm calling stir fry seasoning, or like I would use it to season up some tofu if I was gonna put it in a rice bowl or something like that. It's just garlic, onion, mushroom powder, ginger, some white pepper, and I ended up putting some shallot and minced onion in it. Also turmeric, because I was like, I haven't used turmeric for anything and I just felt like putting it in. I don't know. I also had 2 partial bags of nutritional yeast that I wanted to combine and put into a container for easier pouring. So I had this old spice mix container from Costco that I cleaned out to use, and it was perfect.
Yes. And now we have, you can pour it and you can sprinkle it, or you can pour the extreme version. Here's some random, I didn't know what to put them in, so I just put them in a bag because I just wanted to put them somewhere because I'm always scared they're gonna get punctured and just be like leaking in the cabinet. So these are just random sauce packets from like ramen noodles and such. And a comment in a recent video said that they take, like for example, these bulldog, which I don't know if I'm saying that right, but no one corrected me yet. So bulldog 2 times spicy noodles. The sauce is basically a hot sauce. So they said they just like squeeze them into a like bottle and then just like use it like a hot sauce on things. And I was like, that's kind of smart because I like the flavor of it. It's just too spicy to put all over noodles for me.
Okay, so I actually had like 4 of those bulldog ramen sauce packets. So I put 2 in this tiny little bottle and then I'm saving the other to mix with mayonnaise later and have like a little bottle of spicy ramen mayo sauce to put on random stuff. We will see, but I want to wait till I get a better brand of mayonnaise before I do that because the mayonnaise that I have right now is not ideal.
I got this fermented soybean paste at grocery outlet. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be used for. I know I've seen people talk about soybean paste for like recipes and stuff, but I don't really remember exactly what it was. So I have to like Google what it's great to use this in. I know it's like common Korean cooking ingredient. It just intrigued me. Any kind of fermented item or soybean item is interesting to me. And a lot of these things are meant to be refrigerated. I just haven't opened them yet, so that's why they're in here. But it's just like I wanted to have an area where I could easily see all these things and not forget that I have them. I have this Wicked Kitchen pesto, orange pumpkin pesto sauce. I don't know what to use this for. It'd probably be good on pasta, vegan caviar. I've never had any kind of caviar or caviar related food, so this is interesting to me. This basil pesto. Oh yeah, but then I also have this Sicilian pesto that I guess Sicilian pesto is red and not green, so that's interesting. So yeah, I think it's just pesto but with tomato instead of basil, and there's also hot pepper in it. So what should I do with these? I'm sure it'd be delicious on bread, like making garlic bread, but instead you put this on it. Putting it on pizza. Some Trader Joe's bruschetta. The fact that it's still Trader Giotto's makes me nervous because I feel like they got rid of that a while ago. This core and rind vegan cheese sauce, cashew cheese sauce. I've heard mixed things about this, so I'm interested. Oh, the first ingredient is pumpkin. So there you go. Very controversial, but I love to try new things. I do. This expired, but like it's something that's definitely gonna expire. I mean, definitely gonna last past the expiration, you know? Like what's gonna happen? Let's be real. I have carrots. I bought some potatoes. I don't know what to use for the meat part of it. I don't know if I'll buy something or just use tofu or something. I don't know.
I know I've had golden curry like maybe once before, but I don't remember when or how or where. But I just remember the flavor and liking it. You know, I like any kind of stew or anything with like a gravy type sauce, and I love any kind of curry as long as it's within my spice tolerance level. But yeah, I added some carrots, celery, onion, potato. I also had some green tomato left over and I threw that in there. There's no reason for it being green. I'm just telling you because otherwise you probably wouldn't know what it was. And I also had some tofu that I wanted to use, so I thought I would put it in the air fryer with some seasonings and cornstarch and oil before putting it into the stew, because I thought that would give it like a breading or like a better texture in the stew and not just be plain tofu. But I feel like it was kind of pointless after the stew was like simmering for so long, you know? I don't know if I should have just added it in at the end, but it just felt like the tofu did a worse job at absorbing the sauce, but it was still very delicious. I also threw in some frozen spinach and frozen peas, you know? I'm just adding frozen spinach and frozen peas to everything these days, especially the spinach. I love adding spinach to everything. But yeah, I started with adding just a little bit of the curry box, maybe like a quarter of it, because I really didn't have an understanding of how potent these things are, but I ended up using the whole entire thing and just ate it with some white rice. I would definitely buy something like this again, but I would want to find one that doesn't have palm oil in it preferably. So if you guys have any recommendations of a good brand, you can feel free to let me know, because this was like a super easy, really good comfort meal and easy to have leftovers of.
And then what else is up here? None of this stuff is like expiring, just like things I forget about that I should take advantage of. Creamy jalapeno Fotana sauce. When I was at Walmart a while back, this brand had some sauces that looked interesting, and I think everything was vegan, so I was really interested to try some. And it's just water, jalapeno, avocado oil, apple cider vinegar, dates. I know this brand is like, I don't know if they're all vegan, but at least they're certainly making natural or like healthier versions of common like Mexican foods, which is cool. They had those Mexican wedding cookies, but like snack version, and those are delicious. They are so good. I would recommend them. They're not really cheap, but they're very good. So yeah, creamy jalapeno sauce. Gonna put it on something.
Here's me putting it on something. I'm once again showing you another lazy meal. That's basically all that I make. That my lazy air fried rolled refried bean tacos. That's what I'm gonna call them. Okay. Yeah, I just put some refried beans inside and some seasoning mix that will come up later. And then on the top, and then I air fry it. And then on the top, I put some avocado and some of that sauce and some pico. The spicy pico from Trader Joe's is actually very good. I forgot to put lime and salt on the avocado, so I just put it on the top. This was actually very delicious. I do like this sauce. I have been using it a lot lately on things, but I will say it's not super creamy, which I didn't really expect it to be super creamy because the ingredients were... It's not like it had cashews in it or something like that, but I do like it. It's quite good.
And then I have this kimchi ketchup, which I'm interested to try. What should I use this with? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I would use this with just like anything you would use ketchup with, I feel like, because it would just add something a little more interesting, you know? Oh, this is expired. This expired. Well, did it though? Best before September of last year. But it's still good. It's like vinegar. It's a vinegar sauce, you know? So I bought this for something that I saw a YouTuber make. I thought for sure I would like love this and use it on everything, but then I kind of just forgot about it. But I do like it. It's just like, I think I don't eat the things that you would want to use this on very much, so it just isn't being used. So those are the things. And I gotta make some stuff. That's all the things for this video. Thank you for watching.
Also, thank you to Billy for sponsoring this video.
And I hope you enjoyed it and have a good rest of your day, and also eat something good today. And look out for my next video. I don't know what it will be, but it'll be this month. Anyways.